Attack of the Christmas goats.
I couldn't hear yours. You must have your background noise reduction on again.
That could be.
Yep. Oh, there you can hear it a little bit.
Okay.
That
I didn't
that
know.
effect really does well on canceling stuff out.
That's the goal. Um, I was surprised it came with this little book.
Yeah.
It's
Did you
kind
read
of,
it?
no, not yet.
There's pictures.
There's like a lot. There's like a lot of words and stuff. So I haven't, I was on vacation, so I didn't do that yet. But anyway, yo, 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 YouTube, welcome back to the live show with Charlie and Two Stews, or
Right.
Stuart and Vincent Van Gogh. We've got the first show of the new year slash last show of the last year this evening. So we took last week off. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. I think it's important on some of those holidays to just spend it with family and close friends and um, get that time in. So unfortunately, it landed on the night we do our live. So for this one year, we weren't really able to accommodate that part, but we wanted to make sure, even though today is a holiday, that we got on today and keep the show rolling. So, kind of an obvious episode. Everyone sort of does this on their YouTube channels every year. We're going to go over a little bit of how last year went, how we thought it would go, if it went better or worse, that kind of thing. I do have some numbers. I did some numbers from the beginning of 2024 last year to the first day of this year, 2025, and kind of see what that looks like, and then just talk about what we were looking for the future, as well as if anything's going to change, like if we're trying to do anything different, that kind of thing. So glad you all could join us. I see we got a pretty good chunk in the chat already, which is great. We'll get to everybody. Last show, obviously not last week, the week before, we never really got to our topics, so we're going to try to push to some.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I know. To some topics. So we were going to kind of do our year end. Excuse me. Last episode didn't really go that way, so we want to make sure we get that stuff in tonight. I think it's important enough, and we won't neglect the chat by any measure. But we're gonna really push to get that stuff started that way. But first, I want to know, how was your holiday?
It was really good. It was A, peaceful. B, I had some extra time off of work. Excuse my distraction here. I forgot to shut off the ringer and stuff on my phone, so I was trying to do that.
Oh,
Got some good stuff. I had mostly asked for clothes this year, so
yeah.
family and friends obliged. Brewers and Packers stuff, and I am well. If you go back and look at these streams, you will see that I am not one that worries a lot about wardrobe, and I will wear something until I physically can't wear it anymore.
Same.
So I was like, I really need some new stuff in here. People are going to be like, does he wear the same thing for 3 years? So I thought, what better way than to tell the fam, hey, get me some new stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that was good. My sister got me a nice little card display stand. Probably
Oh,
have that out at the Goat Card Show.
okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so it was good. How about you?
I didn't really get any card stuff. I think it's kind of like anybody with what they do for a living. Like when I was a banker, I didn't want people to buy me bank crap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. I have outside personal interests besides this that we're more focused on. Like, for example, this is a new shirt I got. Man City, baby. And it's
They're not doing too well, are they?
got the Holland. You stop that right now. Look at the Holland. Just look at the Holland and forget about everything else.
I listen enough to soccer to know that
Yeah.
Man City is not getting off to a great start.
They yeah, it's really weird this year. Well, they did have some significant injuries, and of course that changes every team. I don't care who you are, if you have lots of injuries and stuff, but they've been struggling. They were so dominant for so many years, kept winning the league and everything, and it doesn't look that way this year. But it's we kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago with the Chiefs and Mahomes. It's like, if every year you make it to the Super Bowl, that's draining. That's an extra 4 weeks of football you're playing that other teams aren't. And then you have all the stuff. If you win it, you have all that stuff that comes after, right? You got all the media stuff, and then blah blah blah. And your off season becomes pretty short. So I think that's partly what happens. In soccer too. I mean, it's such a physically demanding sport, stamina wise, and everything else. I think the injuries just start kind of piling up after you're playing.
Yep.
And then they have soccer is different than other sports. They have these little cups in between during the leagues and things like that. And, they win those too. So now you're playing, into quarterfinal and semifinal games in cups and stuff. And it's just, I think that's a big part of it. They lost a couple guys to the transfer portal. It's going to be a little bit of a rough year, but that's okay. They'll get through it.
That actually reminds me of a couple of things you touched on. One, explain to me fixtures play. Is that like almost kind of like regular season games? Would you consider those? Okay. And friendlies are more like exhibition?
Yeah, for friendlies like preseason, essentially. It's usually just your so soccer is big on just promoting it to crowds as an entertainment. So they do a lot of friendlies in different countries. They'll play in stadiums they haven't played in before, just to bring some soccer to another area. And they do that with the NFL. They bring teams here to play, and send NFL teams over to Europe to play. So they have a lot of structure that they use to try to get the game into different places.
Yeah.
Soccer is kind of insane because there's a ton of professional leagues. If you think of professional baseball, you basically think of Major League Baseball, maybe Japanese baseball, and that's about as far as it goes, right? So they have a harder time really trying to get that balance and get everybody to recognize what leagues are what and what players are where and that kind of thing. And then of course, free agency, well, they don't call it that, but big players leaving teams to get more money at other teams, and that always plays a lot of things that you have to kind of deal with too, and deal with the fans with that kind of backlash too. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's strange, still strange to see like Mbappe in a Real Madrid uniform. To me, he's PSG. That's where he played his whole professional career before that, and it just takes some time to kind of get used to it. But it's really all the sports are similar enough that I think anybody can understand.
Yeah.
Even if you don't follow it,
And the other thing you talked about, players getting injured and extra time and stuff like that. Your boy Purdy's got some injury concerns there.
Yeah. This year I don't think it matters. I don't think Brock Purdy is going to be.
They're not going anywhere.
Playing in any postseason, so this is probably the best year for him to kind of finish out with some minor injuries and kind of take care of some stuff. He'll be back after the off season.
I haven't really heard what the injury is.
I think it was something with his elbow, from what I understand.
Watching the game, you couldn't really see anything violent happen.
I didn't either, and he played pretty well. So I don't know. They have some work to do. This last game was kind of cool. Ricky Pearsall really came out, as a potential positive, good wide receiver for them to try to grow on that.
If he can keep from getting shot again.
That wasn't his fault, though. I mean, that's
okay. That's what everybody says.
Yeah. Well, I mean, somebody tried to rob him, But I think. I think they have some positive things. I think their defense is not very good, which sounds crazy in my head, but I think they have a lot of work to do there, and we'll kind of see what they do with it. But yeah, so my holiday was pretty good. I mean, I don't really take any days off, but I tried to have a little bit more lax in some of my days. It's nice to
Yeah.
not have to ship on a postal holiday. So I try to take those days and not do that. And it was kind of nice having Luna. Luna was off of school, obviously all week. So I ran around, did some stuff with her. It was a lot of fun. Saw a lot of family and things. Last night went over to Luna has a friend that for the last few years she's been celebrating New Year's Eve with. They have a sleepover and do all the crazy things that 9-year-old girls do.
Okay.
And her parents invited us over this year, so we went over there last night. We had a lot of fun, and I was up till 2 a.m., which I don't do. So I was
How did
hurting
you
a bit.
manage?
I don't know, because I got up at like 3:45 yesterday morning, did my normal day, and then went over there till 2 a.m. So I was pretty toast by the time I got home. And then you add on top of that drinking and all the other good stuff. So it was a little tough to get her going today, but I slept in till 8, so that's crazy. But it was fun. It was nice. I haven't gone out and done anything like that in a long time. Just a small group. They had another couple over that were really nice, and so yeah, I actually did something on New Year's Eve. It's crazy. But
Nice.
I had some really nice Angels Envy, so I brought that over.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we didn't go bottom shelf. We did some Manhattans and we had a great time. We had some lobster, and he's a pure Italian, so he makes like the bread with like the buttercream dip and all that,
Okay.
and we put the lobster in there. Oh, magnifique. So yeah, it was great. We had a good time. Yeah,
We were much more low key.
yeah.
Just normal night. I was listing all night. Jenny was kind of looking at the store she's looking to build, so she was pricing some things we had around the house. The kids got a PS5 for Christmas, so they've been playing
Oh,
that nonstop. So
I'm sure.
yeah, a lot of Fortnite, Roblox, and Madden and NCAA 25. Those are the 4 games on rotation.
I actually was just listing Fortnite cards on my new store.
Really
Yep.
nice.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of those. So, um, yeah, I actually because so the store you get 60,000 listings, but not really because when listings end in relist, that counts as a listing. So you should not really plan to list up to 60,000. So I got to like 59.5, and then I was listing some of these because I love the Panini stickers. So I bought a bunch of these.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, lo and behold, I go to list one and it says 10-cent listing fee.
Ah,
So I'm like, well, I'm done with that store for now. So I just kind of bail out of that. I have my little stack here of Panini stickers I didn't get to yet, and those will sit until things open up a bit again. But then I just focus on the second store, and I do a lot of listing in there. So it's nice to always have an avenue to go to. You don't ever want to stall out.
right.
And then between yesterday and today, my store was booming. I think I sold like 450 cards in the last 2 days. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, I did have one customer who ordered like 120 cards. That was a big part of it. But I sold a 1 of 1. I sold a bunch more ASG baseball. I sold some non-sports stuff. Bunch of like John L. A buyer bought a bunch of John Elway, and another buyer bought a bunch of Dan Marino. Kind of your normal loads of buyers too. I sold a bunch of non-sports stuff. So that was pretty encouraging. It's nice to kick off the year and have something going right away.
That ASG set has been good for you, man.
Pretty much solid gold. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I hit on a nice little run of 2024 rookies and stars, and it's only because it hasn't been mass released yet. And for
Right.
whatever reason, Target must have negotiated some deal with Fanatics, because they're the only place I've found it online or in person, and now they're all sold out. But
Yeah.
I was buying everyone I could find. Yeah, I even bought some. You can still find some little wax packs yet of it.
Yeah, I bought a couple at Target yesterday. I
But you
found them
don't get
too. So.
as good of stuff in those.
Right.
As you did the blasters that I got.
Mm-hmm.
But Panini hasn't even announced its release date on its website. It just says coming soon. And even Target, so I went online to Target today, and they have more, but it was going to be January 17th or later for delivery. So by then it's going to be done.
I have thoughts on that, and it's not a good one on Target's side. They put the cards out and they're not supposed to yet. Everything has street dates.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing those probably got tossed in with some other stuff because they were going to be coming out, and it was, don't put these out yet. And or whoever fills I should say it's not really Target. Somebody else fills Target, right? I mean, it's what is that? What do they call it? What's that name of that place? Can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, the distributor.
That company. Yeah. But so I'm guessing somebody screwed up and put those out, and they weren't supposed to be out there. But
it's nice because even the base cards are moving, like guys that I haven't even heard of.
Right. Yeah, I actually spent more and bought sticker packs instead. These are sneaky good. So here's my $100 free advice today. But these are sneaky good. That the rookies do really well. They're $1.50 a pack, so that's one of the best parts about it. But like you can get numbered. I got this numbered Micah Parsons card, numbered out of 249. You know, out of $1.50 pack, that's not bad.
Yeah.
There's nice foil cards in here. You know, I got this nice foil parallel Justin Jefferson. There's all the rookies are in it. I sold a Brock Bowers today, a couple of Drake Mays. They're nice. So these you get one card per pack, and then you get all the stickers. Okay. And then the stickers, you get 5 stickers and 1 card. But usually in the sticker packs, you get at least 1 or 2 of the foils.
Mm-hmm.
And those are in pretty good demand. But like you said, this is kind of my NFL 5 product. You know, I'd always bought my cases of NFL 5. They don't make that anymore, so I can't do that. But I love a product that's cheap like that. They have tons of stickers of players that don't get cards, kind of like the Uno stuff and that kind of thing. And that's just been a great niche for me, you know, for selling stuff. So
yeah.
So those were kind of my recent pack buys anyway. But I've been trying to focus a lot on the non-sport, you know, just kicking off the new store. So that's where my head is at. It was really nice. As soon as I opened the store and I got, 40, 50 cards listed, I sold 2 instantly.
Yeah.
So that makes you feel good. Like, okay, this is going to be all right. And at $20 a month for another store, that's really nothing. You know, you can. I made that in those 2 cards that I sold almost.
Right.
So I think it's a solid investment as far as a way to expand. And I don't really change anything. I just basically had to go set it up. I use the same logo, the same banner. It's everything that my current dollar box is. So the buyers aren't going to know any difference really. All my business policies, all that stuff. You have to get all that set up. But once you do that, it's done. Car Dealer Pro, my template is the same one. So I just basically download the CSV, and instead of uploading it to store 1, I upload it to store 2.
Yeah.
Don't change my skewing. I just keep skewing to the next bag. It doesn't matter which store it's for sale in. It's still going to be in the bag. So it doesn't really change anything that way. And, probably the only challenge would be if I'm in one store and I'm trying to look up a card in a SKU, and I'm like, why doesn't this say this card is in here? Oh, it's in the other store. But if I keep them fairly separate, with one being non-sport, one being sport, that should be, pretty obvious, where things are that way too. That's the goal. We'll see how it goes. But All right, let's get into some 2024 year end. So, what do you have on that? Did you grab any numbers, or do you have any comments you want to make about it?
Yeah, so I went back and actually looked at oh, hold on a second. I went back. Sorry, I had to ask Jenny to grab something for me. I looked back at our show to end 2023, to kind of look at what our goals were we stated for 2024. And for me, looking back, I kind of crushed my listings goal. So this was pre-scanner when we were talking about it.
The scanner has made a big difference. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So I had set a goal of 5,000 listings. I am like 50. I'll hit 12,000 tomorrow.
Mhm.
So I kind of crushed that. I wanted to kind of fine tune my brand and zero in on kind of what's my specialty cards, right? Like, what am I going to be working on? And I feel like I did that kind of in this fourth quarter. I kind of had some conversations with myself about what do I like to do, what do I not like to do, and what works for me and what doesn't, as far as different categories. And while I'm not saying I'm not going to work in some of those categories, I'm not going to go out of my way to spend a lot of time on them, I guess. I'm going to
Okay.
stay in my core three, which is baseball, football, and wrestling. Those are kind of
That's
going to be my main three. Um, like, for example, basketball. Yesterday was a
yeah,
basketball listing for me. It is such a grind for me to list basketball.
yeah,
I do not enjoy it at all listing. Whereas
same.
when I'm doing baseball, football, wrestling, like, I'm reliving moments with some of those guys. I mean,
Mhm.
I come across a card like oh, let me show you something, because I found it today and it just made me laugh. It's part of the reason I love wrestling so much. Let me see if I can get a good view on this for you. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. And present, share screen, window. There we go. This is my favorite wrestling name, and you can decide how you want to pronounce it.
Holy cow, that's great.
I don't know if it's Takashita or Take a Shitta, but I love it.
Figure. That's great. Yeah,
But
I like
that's,
stuff like that too. Oddball
yeah,
stuff, weird names. Yeah, why
like, you
not?
want to have fun when you're doing that grind of
Yeah.
listing, right?
That's what I love about. I love non-sport stuff for that reason. There's just so many different topics and so much pop culture, which I really enjoy. I actually enjoy pop culture more than I do sports. It's just
Yeah,
this business makes sense to start in sports cards. Um,
yeah,
and have a heavy play in that area because there's a good chunk of that business. But yeah, the non-sport stuff, I get excited when I get to work on some of that for
yeah.
sure. But I
And
agree with you. When I do basketball, I'm like, I don't even know who half these guys are, and like, okay, I list another Therese Halliburton card. Well, I've
yeah,
sold one in like the last year. Like, there's just no real drive for it, and
yeah,
I started drawing more out any base stuff that I had, and I'm throwing them in kids packs now, and um, unless they're kind of a breakout star, they're on a great team, or something that influences it to stick around, or in parallel insert whatever. But
yep.
yeah, it's I struggle with basketball a bit too.
And the last thing I had jotted down was I also wanted to increase my repeat buyers. That's something we tend to focus on. I have
Hmm.
done that. Still not where I want to go. When we talk about 2025 goals eventually tonight, that'll be something that's in there as well. Um,
Okay.
I want to take a pause real quick, and then we'll talk about your 2024 goals. But another one of my Christmas presents, the Loud Cup.
Oh geez, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not obnoxious at all. You'll have to bring that to the goat show. We could have some fun with that.
They love it in the house.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. So what about
Uh,
you? 2024
another.
goals for you?
Hold on one second because I have forgot to write something down. Okay,
I'm pretty sure you really, hit all of yours as well.
Yeah, and I was trying to be fairly ambitious because doing this full time, you can't, you have to have real goals.
Yeah.
Revenue's gone up, profits have gone up, those things too. I don't want to focus too much on that. I want to focus more on like the building parts of the business. Because I think as long as you see growth, you're going to see more revenue, you're going to see more profit. Like all those things should fall in line with it. So last year on January, so I'm going to compare my January 1, 2024 numbers to my January 1, 2025 numbers here. So last year, listings, I was at 37,654. Today, I'm at 59,418 in my primary store and 792 in my second store that I just opened. So quite a bit of jump there. And obviously what I really wanted to do was hit the 60 grand by the end of the year, which sounded like a huge number and I would never get there. And then the scanner came into play and then that started to seem more like a reality, which it was. And then let's see, feedback, I was at 11,288. Today I'm at 15,139. And those are obviously unique feedback. You get more than that, but only one counts in that main number. So I think that's fairly big growth. That's almost 30% feedback growth. So that's just a sign of doing good business, right? I don't look at the feedback one by one. I think that just drives you nuts, especially when you get the weird ones or the negatives or the neutrals or whatever. When you look at it as like a chunk number, to see a decent growth in a year in that number means that you're probably doing some good things.
Yeah.
So I like that. Average price per card sold. This is interesting. Actually went down. I was at $3.58 last year. Now I'm at $3.29. So I think a bulk of that has been my coupons. So I'm willing to give the smaller price. So you get smaller price per card, but you're selling more cards. So I don't necessarily see that as a negative. As a matter of fact, that isn't even that much of a drop, really, 20 cents. But sold a lot more items. So, what was I watching today? There was something I was watching today where they were talking about, I was watching Chasing Cardboard's video where he was talking about, being a full-time dealer and how he did it wrong the first time and what he's doing now and all that stuff. And, he studied a lot of really good dealers that were making good money. And that was what they said. They were like, well, I don't have to sell this for the most money. I just need to sell a lot. Right. You have to do one or the other. So I don't want to be, and I've said this a lot, I don't want to be the Skechers. I want to be the Nike for selling my cards. So I want to sell good top quality, top dollar card. Top price of a card. But I'm willing to forgive some of that profit based on somebody willing to buy more product. So I think that's a great, what that to me is what that number states. Not that I'm necessarily getting less per card, but that I've been selling more cards and offering some of that discount to my customers. Fees. My fees last year were almost 32%. This year they're down to 28%. So I thought that was really good. That's expenses. So that's your fees and your shipping and all that good stuff. So I was pretty pleased with that. That number went down. Impressions, I was averaging about 42 million every 90 days last year. And if you guys follow the Discord, I just recently posted on there in the last 90 days, I hit 100 million impressions, which is insanity to me. So that's good. That means I generally, as you increase your listings, you should get more impressions because you have more items to be looked at. but to me, it also tells me that my promotions are working, my coupons are working. I'm getting regular customers looking at my stuff, sending out the newsletters, building on the followers, things like that. Those are all adding to plenty of looks, which in the end will translate into more sales. So
Yeah, the impressions is interesting. When I look at mine, it really stands out to me. There's a nice little chart there. Actually, I don't mind sharing mine, so I can pop that up on the screen. But there's a chart on organic versus promoted, and
yeah,
on my chart there, let's see, I think I've got it on 90 days. But just look at the difference promoted makes. The blue part of the chart there versus the black. Black is organic, blue is promoted. Yes, you're paying for that, but I think the value is there for what you're paying.
yes, agreed. But that's actually something I wanted to talk about tonight, if we got time, is promotion percentages, because I'm changing mine a little bit.
Okay.
So, and I'll tell you why, but I don't want to get into that yet. Followers, I was at 1,262 last year. This year, I'm at 1,849. So again, almost a 30% gain in store followers, which is huge. Those are customers that are going to be notified when you're listing stuff. You can contact them. You can send them coupons. It gives you permissions to continue to work with them, and hopefully you'll get future business from them going forward as well. So just a few things that have upgraded or changed or been added at the first of this year. Obviously, the second store, which you guys are going to hear lots about that this year, whether you want to or not. It's coming. I get asked a lot about it. I think a lot of people think, okay, we're all working towards this 60,000 listings. Then what do we do? So I think there's some going to be some attention on, well, how that since Adam's there already, how does this work for him? Is this something that I would want to do? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So I want to try to keep you guys involved in my journey so you can see how it's going. The other thing is I've reduced my promotions percentages. We get asked this all the time. Everybody's got a difference of opinion on it. What do you pick for your percentage for your promotions? Well, I've been noticing over the past, and I didn't pull up any specific numbers. I probably could have today if I would have got up early enough after being out so late. But they've gone up in the last year. So it used to be, you were right around 8%, 12% on most items. And in the last few months, I've seen that getting higher, 16% on some, 18% on some. And what I realized is this is something I should be able to reduce a little bit each year, right? So you start gaining your own business, you're getting your own sales, you're getting your own customer base that you don't need to do those promotions to and pay eBay for. You can kind of promote yourself, which I do. I send the coupons, I do the offers, all that kind of stuff. So I went off of, I've been on Dynamic ever since I started promotions. I've dropped that now. And I'm now going to a percentage. I am not going to tell anybody what that percentage is, because I think that's that's a negotiating point for myself to keep my own position in the sales business part of it. So I'm not going to share what that percentage is, but I thought it was important just to share that I have now taken it off of Dynamic, which basically just throws you at the top percentage to always keep you on top. And I brought it down to a percentage that I feel is more appropriate for me to pay to get a sale outside of what I do on my own work. So that's going to be kind of a big change this year. We'll see how it goes. If it's terrible and I start losing all the sales, which I don't think that's going to happen, then I can switch something back. If I still feel, if I feel down the road it's too much, I can drop that percentage. That's the advantage of that, of that area of your costs. You can adjust that based on what you think it's giving you the benefit of. Because if you start hitting that 18%, they're going to take that plus their final value fee. Ooh, and then you're accepting an offer, or you have a sale going on, or they're buy on a coupon or something like that. It's like it starts cutting into it pretty good. So I wanted to kind of curb that, and I wanted to set my terms on what I'd be willing to pay eBay for getting me business, because I can get a lot of business on my own now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's that example where you mentioned 18%. I think that's a good reminder for me to occasionally check your sales and see what that dynamic amount is. Usually when I turn on dynamic, it says like between 9 and 15% or something like that. But that
Yeah,
doesn't mean it can't be higher when they
right.
actually sell it, right? Because it's always changing.
I had one a couple of months ago, and that's one problem with dynamic. You don't really know what it's going to be. Now, if someone sends you an offer, you do, because it says in the offer, this is going to be 15% promoted or whatever, But if they just flat out buy it, you don't know. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
And I had one a couple months ago that was like 18 or 20% or something really insane. And I was like, I think I'm going to have to try to find a way to manage some of this myself and not depend on eBay as much to put me in those positions. And then one of them was higher too. It was like 15%, and it was on, I have all those Stat Smasher gold cards. I bought the big stack of the more limited parallel gold.
Yeah.
And it was like 15% on one of the gold ones. I'm like, I don't need to pay 15. These sell all the time on their own, and they're not common. Like, there isn't a ton of listings for these gold Stat Smashers out here. Like, why am I paying to get the sale on this thing? So there was just a couple of instances over the last couple of months that made me go, okay, this is something where, because getting sales, making profit, creating revenue, growth, blah, 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 those are all important, but it's also important to reduce expenses and control expenses, because it doesn't do you any good to make a bunch of money and then you give it all away. So, I feel like I'm at the right point of that. I maxed out my store. So now I'm getting the most value for my monthly fee, because everybody pays $60 a month, whether you have 12,000 listings or 60,000 listings, right? So I'm getting good value now for my monthly store fee. I have reduced my fees. We talked about that earlier by doing more, getting more multiple card orders. So I'm not having as much shipping expenses, things like that. So I've done some reduction there. And then I felt like the promotional percentages was something that I had to take a little bit more control over. And I found a number that I think is going to work really well for me. So I'm excited to see how it goes. Now, it hasn't hurt me, because I changed this a couple days ago, and my last 2 days of sales they were better than they were for before Christmas some days.
Well, I think it would take a while of some new listings before you really know for sure, because you have all this stuff already promoted dynamic out there that's still hitting pretty hard.
Yeah, but I dropped my dynamic promotion plan or whatever that I had, and I created a whole new one.
Okay.
So all those listings fell off of that, and then I just had to put them onto the new one.
Okay, so you changed the old ones too?
Yeah. Something you guys need to know is that you can only put like 40,000 listings on your promotion plan that you have set up, and then you have to set up another one. So just so you guys know, when you get closer to that number, it's going to be like, you can't promote those with new items. You're going to have to set up. Now, you can just set up another one of the same. You can just set up another dynamic one, or you can set up another percentage one, whatever you want to do. But you're only allowed so many listings on one of those plans, which I don't know why they limit it. And I don't know why it's that number when a lot of us are listing more items than that, but that's how they have it set up. So.
Yeah, I was not aware of that. Thanks for calling that out.
Yeah. I believe it's 40,000. It's something right around there. It's either 40 or like 45 or something like that. Yeah, because I had to set up a second dynamic a while ago, when I got past that point, to put promotions on any new listings.
So you mentioned getting your selling costs down a little bit. Are you comfortable sharing your percentage of selling costs for 2024?
Yeah, I did share that. It was 32%.
32%. Okay. So I
32%.
am,
And that's what it was at the beginning of 2024. Now, right now, where I'm at now is 28%.
okay.
So shaved off about 4%.
Okay. So I am a little higher than that. That's something I definitely want to look at. So for the full year, I'm at 39%.
Yeah, see, to me, that's too high. Then eBay is getting too much of an ownership in your business. Um, and that's not by definition. So everybody else has to decide what they're doing. And if you want as little work as possible and you want eBay to do a lot more work, well, then that's probably going to cost you more. But um, I want them to, I want them, I need them to be able to take some expense out of this because I need them to help me get the sales, but I don't want to give them a large portion of my company's income either. Um, so I'm really happy that I've dropped to 28. I'm very comfortable with that number because that includes your final value fees, which is what, 12 and a half, I think it is now,
Yeah.
percent. And then, which actually I get a small percentage of that back because I'm seller plus. But that includes any promoted percentages, and then also your when you print the shipping label. Um, so that's pretty good number. I think 28 is a very comfortable amount
Yeah.
uh,
That's a
to
really
to
good
pay
number.
commission on. So, but I think the biggest portion of the cut of that percentage is honestly not my expenses to eBay. It's my shipping.
Yeah.
Just because I'm sending 10, 15 cards at a time minimum versus one at a time. And then you're taking that 69-cent hit on every single one of those orders.
Well, yeah, they do have the selling cost breakdown. I can see mine, the shipping labels were 35%
Yeah.
of my overall selling costs. 65% was still the eBay fees.
Yep. But think about, let's say you sell a lot of single cards, right? And let's say you have 50 orders in a day and 40 of them are single cards. And then tomorrow you get 50 orders and only 10 of them are single card. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you can cut that shipping amount down, now you're probably selling your cards for less. Remember, I'm making less per card,
Yeah.
right? So I'm cutting my expenses, but in a sense, I'm not making as much per card, but I'm selling more cards too. So
Yeah.
you have to kind of decide how you want to play it. And I
I
think
will.
that 28, I will cut that 28% by a decent chunk by reducing my promotion percentage too.
Okay.
So I have a plan for this next year to continue to reduce some of that expense. We'll see how it goes,
Actually, looking at my ad fees, and I'm kind of surprised they're not bigger than they are. 9.8% of my selling fees is what the
Mhm.
ad fees were. I don't think that's too bad, less than 10%. The final value fees, the killer though, that's 43% of my selling fees.
Right, because they take that on every single card,
Yeah.
even if you sell multiple cards.
Yeah.
So, and that's a great part about the promotional expenses. You don't have to pay that on every sale. I have plenty of 30, 40 card sales that have no promotional expense to them at all.
Right.
So I think by controlling some of the ones where I feel like I'm being overcharged for them, for some reason the percentage is really high. One other seller did 20%, so now boom, you got to go to 22 if you're dynamic or something.
Yeah.
It automatically pushes you up that scale, and I want to have a little bit more control, I think, in that. So I'm going to do a set percentage in the second store. I'm not doing promotions at all right now. I'm just going to have it get some natural sales so I can manage that growth as best as possible. To me, Bo put it pretty well. I liked this when he said this a few months ago when he started doing collects. He said, to me, that's my side gig, right? Like my business, like what I need to pay my bills is my eBay business, and then if I make something on collects, that's my
Right.
side hustle. Like a lot of you guys are doing this as your side hustle. to me, I'm looking at my second store a little bit as my side hustle right now, and then
Yeah.
I'll try to develop that and include it into my business and make it an important part of the business. But I want to give it some time and let it go. As you guys know, that when you start a store, there's not much there. It takes you some time to get listings on there, to get feedbacks, and luckily I've had the account for a while, and I've got 800 feedback in there, and have a few followers because I've listed a few cards there before and sold some. So I at least have a ground floor to jump off with, and just keep working on it. But I have no business cards for it, so when I fill orders from there, I'm going to be sending them business cards for my primary store because that's what I have. So it's very, very, very new and raw. Not that much has been put into it yet. We'll see where it goes.
So
because once I hit 60,000 in that store, I'm going back to the primary store, and I'm probably going to bump it up to a anchor store.
Yeah.
Because what else would you do? I'm not going to open a third store, so got to figure out my way to grow from there.
You never know. It depends on their pricing structure at that time.
Right. And maybe I'd even pull a lot off of eBay and I'd just do something else. I don't know, but just going off of what we know today, because that's all you really have to go on. That seems to make the most sense for me would be to go to that and then push to be an even bigger business because I would have that anchor presence. I don't know if that really gets you anything on eBay, which is a big reason why I didn't want to do it on my primary store right now. Basically, all you get is a few more listings and a dedicated eBay support person, which I don't really need. So I don't know. I don't see as much value in it for $300 a month. But we'll see. We'll see.
I looking at these selling costs a little bit more, I saw another comparison that I think is interesting. My ad fees they're less than my subscription fees yet. And I think that's kind of how I would look at it, to say, whoa, are my ad fees getting out of control? If I'm paying more for my ads than I am for the subscription of the store, I think that's when I would start having more concerns. But it's a good chunk below my subscription fees, and I don't feel too uncomfortable with that at this point.
The thing you have to watch with Dynamic is if it gets pushed up more and more as time goes on.
Yeah.
So at some point you're gonna want to decide, is this something I can do on my own and I don't need to pay these percentages to get this business? I don't know. That was the big thing for me. And I'm at almost 2,000 followers. I have a solid customer base that comes and regularly buys from me. I'm turning over cards pretty quick and listing new stuff up. So I don't know. Yeah. Is there a right answer to that one? No. You're going to have to try to do, what's best for you. So, but I think just my advice for what it's worth. I think if you're a newer seller, you're just trying to build a business, build a store, get listings out there, try to get more sales, I think Dynamic is the only way to go.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way that's going to put you in competition with people who already have customers and try to get some of that business. So yeah, it's going to cost you more, but that's how it is when you're new. You don't, Nike doesn't have to pay a lot to get somebody to go and buy Air Jordans. They know Air Jordans. They're just going to go buy them, Remember when advertising was such a big thing with some of those companies? You don't see any of it anymore.
Yeah.
Do you ever see a Nike ad? I don't. Maybe like during the Olympics, or you might see something here or there. Yeah, but it feels like they're kind of like, well, there's word of mouth and there's brand, recognition and things like that. You don't really have to. McDonald's, dude. When I watch like my Christmas commercial runs, I like to put those on in the background. McDonald's just advertised the hell out of it. There's each season there was like 20 McDonald's, come feel warm and fuzzy at McDonald's for Christmas kind of commercials. When's the last time you saw a McDonald's commercial?
Yeah.
Usually there's like like right now they've got one out because there's the McRib is back, right? So they always put something, a commercial out for that. You know, I feel like they'll put one out here and there, but man, they were just all over the place, you know, for the longest time. But everybody knows McDonald's. You know, how many McDonald's commercials do you have to put out there to get people to know it? So anyway, so those are kind of my 2024, 2025 numbers. All things I think look pretty good. There's definitely, I think what's good about this, and you all should do this, in my opinion, go look back. You know, if you've been doing this over a year, go look back at last year, look at this year, and see about ways that you can improve, because that's how you want to start the new year. Until I do this, I don't really know what my percentages are. You know, I have a general idea, but it was good to look at it and just go, okay, I think I could cut some here, or I think I could add to some here, or, you know, well, I didn't sell enough cards here, so maybe am I overpriced, you know, things like that. It should give you some triggers to see about some things that either you can A, continue doing because you're doing really well at it, or B, make some adjustments to do even better.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, YouTube, I only have one number that I'm comparing into YouTube because it is a revenue stream for me, but that's not the focus. I do it more because I enjoy it. I know my content isn't high quality or anything like that. I just do it because sometimes I like to just make videos, and we have viewers that seem to enjoy it, so that's why I do it. But subscriber number, that's the one that everybody kind of looks at. So I thought I would check that out. I was at 1868 on January 1st last year. I'm at 2819. So almost 1,000 new subscribers in a year, which I think is pretty solid on my little channel.
Yeah.
And it has increased my revenue. It has increased my views. Because subscribers don't necessarily mean you're getting more watches, but mine tends to kind of coincide because I don't have fly-by-night subscribers. My videos aren't that good. They're not viral, or, you know, if you're subscribed to my channel, it's probably because you watch the videos. But yeah, so that's my 2024 to 2025, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out. We do have a goat show coming up on January 12th. So that's something we just started in 2024. We did our first show in September. It was very successful. So we're really looking forward to that. We're getting a lot of push now for dealers. Dealers are coming out of the woodwork now and booking their tables, so that's good to see. It's a great day to do a show because it's the Sunday where there's no football. January is one of the best months for cards to sell, especially in our area. There isn't much to do. It's probably going to be a little bit cold. And with that, we have a great location, parking right by the door. We have if you're not a dealer and you're just attending the show, first of all, it's free, so there's that, and there's free parking. But we have an entrance where you can come in and hang out, so you don't have to sit outside, you know, and wait for the show to start. We have a nice hour setup time for the dealers where the doors won't be open, so you'll have I know a lot of shows don't limit that and let the customers come in right away, and that's hard as a dealer sometimes. So if you're a dealer that likes that, we've got that. We've got some free kids packs to give out. We've got some, I have some Prism Draft football, and then we've got some holiday baseball packs that we're going to hand out, and maybe something else. I don't know. Trying to pick up something else yet to give out, but we'll see. So first 40 kids are going to get a pack of cards for free to rip. We've got Charlie and I are going to be demonstrating Card Dealer Pro, and kind of how that works, and using a scanner and things like that. So we have some fun things to offer. It's from 9 to 2 on January 12th, Sunday at Riverside Ballroom. Do you have the graphic, Charlie? You want to throw it up?
I get it.
Okay. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. It's going to be our second show. We are about 60% booked, I believe, at this point. So we definitely have some tables left if anybody's looking for them. I know there's a lot of shows this time of year, but I think it's going to be a good one to be at. We get placed on the marquee tomorrow morning and the location of the place is on Main Street in Green Bay, so it doesn't get any more traffic than that. And so a lot of people are going to see, a lot of people are going to come in. We're dropping off a lot of flyers promoting it. We do have a $5 off coupon that's good through tomorrow only for dealers. So instead of $50 a table, it would be $45 per table. And then each additional table would be another $5 off. And normally each additional table is $40. It's going to be $35. So you could get 2 tables for, what does that come out to? $80. 2 tables for $80. So you end up basically coming out at $40 a table. If you book through tomorrow. We do have a Facebook page. It's The Goat Show. So go look at that and check it out. You can contact us at, oh God, I always forget the email address. Is it The Goat Show, the Green Bay Goat Show, the gbgoatshow.com?
You almost got it. The
I stink at this.
Card Show at gmail.com.
The Goat Card Show at gmail.com. Maybe Charlie can type that in the comments there so we have it on there. But email us there. We can give you a map of what tables are available. You can pick your spot, which I know can be a big advantage as a dealer. And we'll get you all set up and ready to go. We do take, as long as we can verify who you are, we do take payments in cash at the show. So you don't have to pay ahead of time if that doesn't work for you. But yeah, we want to have a great presence, and we want to make sure that there's lots of stuff for the customers to look at when they come in. I've been dropping off flyers at the local card shops, and I just got contacted by one of them this past week that, hey, your flyers are all gone again. And I kept bringing them stacks and stacks. So there's definitely interest in it. So I think we'll have a really good attendance. We do have the autographed Sterling Sharp. Is it Sterling Sharp, right? Yeah. Sterling Sharp football that we're giving away. If you bring a couple of you bring a canned good, you get a ticket to be entered in the drawing for the autographed helmet, and that's free. Well, free except you got to bring the canned good. So we have a charity effort tied in there. So we're really hoping we get a great turnout for that. It's gonna be a ton of fun. Charlie and I would like to have a good time there. We'll have the goats. We'll be shopping. We're buyers, so bring your stuff, sell it to us. We're always buying.
I'll have my loud cup.
Charlie will have his loud cup. Aren't we all blessed? I should bring a Vuvuzela.
There you go. It sounds a lot like that.
It does. That's what made me think of it. So yeah, so we want to see as many of you at the Goat Show as possible. I know not everybody obviously lives around here, and that's not really going to work out, but hopefully we'll get some good video at the show, things like that, and you can be a part of it as well that way. So that's it. Plug for the show. We had to plug the show. I mean, that's natural. But yeah, I had a great show last time. I got a really nice vintage wacky packages and hot rods buy that I was super excited about. As a matter of fact, I just sold another one of those cards today for $15.
Nice.
And I got all 100 some cards. Well, they're stickers, I guess technically, but I got them all for, I don't know, $30 or something like that. It was a great buy, and the customer was really happy because they were just something he inherited, didn't know anything about them, and just wanted a quick, fair, buyout from them so that he could do something for his kids with the money. And so it was great. Worked out for everybody. Gave him a fair price. All right. Anything else? Anything 2024, 2025 card show related that you want to kick in?
Talked about my 2024 and how I did against those. I didn't really talk about my 2025 goals.
Okay.
Those are, like you said, I try to be ambitious with those. Try to be focused on what I think reflects proper growth and positive returns. I want to increase my listings with the scanner now. I'm going to try and hit 25,000 listings by the end of 2025.
Are you going to increase your monthly amount with Car Dealer Pro? Have you thought about that?
Eventually, I think I will have to. This is the first month that I've used all of them.
Okay.
So football season was a big reason why I wasn't, using all of them right away. But now that
That's fair.
football is over, when I have the
Yeah.
scanner, I
Yeah.
am listing hundreds a day. Right.
Yeah.
So definitely want to do that. I do want to increase what I call my earnings before fees and taxes for eBay.
Mhm.
So I talked about kind
Your
of where I was
gross.
at the past year. Yeah, the gross. I want to get
Right.
up over 20K on that. I think
Okay.
that's a realistic goal. That
Mhm.
signifies doubling what I've done in the past year, but it'll be a full year of all the improvements we've made versus a partial year,
Okay.
right? So I'd like to get over 5K for items sold. I did a little over 3,000 in the past year. I'd like to get my return buyers up to 12% or more. That's about a 4% increase. I had a 4% increase last year. I think that's doable as well with a little more
Yep.
focus on the newsletters and things like that. If I ever get those
More listings
business
will help
cards
too.
created. So
Yeah. Yeah.
keep saying I'm going to do that, but I haven't yet.
Business cards are such an old school thing, but I'm still a big fan of them. I just think they're such a great way. They're inexpensive. Um, they're a great way to move your agenda. You can hand them out easily. You don't have to have long conversations with people about what you do. And especially now with QRC codes and that, man, that is like, boom, they snap a picture of it and they're right where you are. Like that's a tough thing to top. I
Yeah.
was really proud of myself for doing the double-sided ones and basically getting 2 business cards out of 1 card. I think that was a good move. So, but now I'm going to probably have to go to actually 2 business cards because I'm going to do one where it's 2-sided with each store on it. And then I think what I'm going to do with the other ones is I'm thinking I'm going to do a goat show on one side and my YouTube channel on the other side.
Okay.
So I'll do 2-sided business cards. You just
Okay.
get more value out of it if you put two sides on it. I mean,
Yeah, I think when I finally get down to designing mine and ordering them, I'll do the 2 sides as well, and one will be for my eBay store, and a little bit for my YouTube channel. But then the backside, I think, will be a general business card for the goat show with email and phone number,
yeah,
but no like dates or anything, right? Just
right,
hey,
correct.
Green Bay's, officially awesome trading card show.
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what I think my plan is going to be, and that'd be great, for us to do it both, can have some consistency with it that way, and
Yeah.
then we're both promoting the show, we're both promoting ourselves, as partners, but individual businesses. It's like we're complicated in a way this way, you know what I mean?
We compete, but we have a friendly rivalry and we
Yeah,
collaborate on a lot of things. That's
correct.
usually how I
Yeah,
talk about it. We collaborate together.
collaborate.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's a great way to do it, and it's a good way to maximize the value out of your business cards. Um, if you have multiple things going on, why make a card for each thing? If they're related. So, um, yeah. So I will continue with my cards. I really like the design I have for my card that I have now. So it'll be just kind of splitting it up so that both sides for each card make sense.
Right. Right.
That's kind of how I look at it. So I'll continue with my art style and that I use, but just make them match in the correct way. So I
Yeah.
think it makes more sense to put both eBay stores on one card.
Yeah, I think so too.
I guess I could just change the one side and put both stores on one side, but I think that could be almost confusing. Like you put 2 QRC codes on here, like, well, this is store 1 for sports, this is store 2 for non-sport. You know what I mean? I think it'd be better to just have one on each side, and then,
Right.
um, and then whichever order I'm sending, and I'm including a card or whoever I'm talking to, there's going to be a side that's going to work for them.
Right.
So that's sort of my future thoughts
Yeah.
on that.
And then I do have a couple other goals here for my store. I have 2 more goals. One is to get closer to no touch listing. So we talk a lot of times, you take a picture, you don't do any cropping, you don't worry about a lot of the fields I've traditionally worried about. You just get it out there. And I've slowly in this fourth quarter, I feel like I've been getting closer and closer to that. I want to continue to work to that so that I'm not spending a lot of extra time listing on things that don't matter as much or things I can do better up front where I don't have to go back and adjust it later, right?
Yeah, and I think it depends sometimes on your listing. Like if you have a card that has some damage or something special about it, like one of the Star Wars cards I just sold has a miscut back, so it's got like part of the back of another card. I took an extra photo or two of that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's something you want to point out. Like if you've got a, you know, I don't know, if you've got a blemish on the card or you've got a special parallel. Whenever I do numbered cards, I take 3 photos. I take the front, the back, and then I try to take a somewhat close-up photo of the serial numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times on cards you can't really see them. So
Right.
I'll do something like that just to show this is the serial number of this card. This is the exact card you're gonna get, and so there are some times where the listings bump and you gotta do a little bit extra, but I don't do any cropping. I don't fill out any fancy fields. That whole second level of item details, I don't put anything in any of those fields except for the SKU.
Yeah.
So I don't put card size. I don't put where it's manufactured. If it's an autograph, I might say who it's authenticated by. It has those spots there where you can choose that. So again, if it's something special, maybe I'll put something in it. But otherwise, nah, you don't need any of that. So.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
description, you're doing AI, right? For
Yeah.
description?
The
Yeah.
descriptions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it should be maybe 1 or 2 fields you have to fill in, if you're selling similar from something else. You're always going to put your own SKU in, that's not going to transfer from anything else.
Yeah.
Unless it's the same SKU and you're just copying your own listing. But anyway, so you're gonna have a couple of fields there, a couple of quick photos, no crops, and post, and should speed up that time quite a bit. There's just some stuff you can't list with a scanner. But
Right.
we tried really hard this year to do some different things. We took a lot of tips from you guys, different viewers, and people in the Discord. By the way, if you're not in the Discord, check out the banner running on the bottom there. I do have my Patreon channel there if you want to support the channel. That's a place you can do it. And then also we have a link to our Discord, so you should join there if you're interested in any of this. So we've taken a lot of tips, tried to do some different settings and things, and we have a top of the line scanner. So if our scanner can't do it, I'm in pretty big belief that it's just not. There's just certain cards you're not gonna be able to do it with. So once you kind of realize that that's going to be the case, then you got to find a way to do quick photos because there's really no other way to do it. So
Yeah, and I've definitely noticed that I've seen some improvements over the last month specifically, but I think I still have some more I can do. And then just your discussion tonight about selling fees, I jotted down a goal to reduce my selling costs by at least 5% or more, or my percentage of selling costs, I should say, because I'm perfectly comfortable being close to 30%. Seeing that minus 39, I'm not comfortable being closer to 40%.
yeah,
you know,
40 almost feels like half, right?
right,
You
right,
almost feel like they're 50 partners with eBay, and eBay is not doing 50% of the work.
right,
So
exactly. So I did add that in there, and then YouTube. Just a couple of things. Number one, I think I need to refocus my efforts on YouTube. This fourth quarter, I haven't been as active. Football took a toll on me trying to keep up with YouTube and listing and everything
yeah,
else. So I think I need to just sit down and refocus and understand what do I really want to do with YouTube, and what do I want to get out of it? Do I want to keep doing the liquidity list? Do I want to do more evergreen content that'll keep getting views over time so I can eventually get to a monetized state, so I think I need to just refocus my efforts on YouTube. I do want to continue to do it because I enjoy it, but it is such a time commitment a lot of times, and it's not generating any revenue for me right now, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's when I'm fortunate because I at least make money. That does help.
Yeah.
Kind of keep you going with it too. But and I've talked to you in the past about this too. Sometimes I struggle with YouTube. I'm like, I should make a video today, but I don't feel like it. Because
Yeah.
it's just not. There's not always as much reward there as you'd like there to be. Viewers keep me going because I get a lot of positive feedback. Oh, I really like these videos, or yay, I can't wait, or hey, what a cool sale, or good cool buy. And once in a while you get that one video where you get like just a ton of views right away, and whether it's the algorithm or the thumbnail or the topic, who knows what spikes it. But yeah, that's a tough one to keep going. It's a grind, just like the eBay, and it's like, how many grinds do I want to take on?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
yeah, I can respect that.
we'll see where that goes. I look back at some of my content, and I think some of the how-tos I like looking back at and seeing what I did with that. I like the video I did on the 76 SSPC set. I think if I'm going to do some, I'd like to do more of that, where when I get some of these private collections, is there a full set someplace that I can kind of analyze? Or I did a couple of random cards of the day, which were relatively short, but I gave some history of that set and that card and what's unique. And I find that really cool. Like, that jazzes me up. So I might, maybe that's something I would be better served doing. Because the thing is, it's really hard to tie a concrete value of the YouTube channel to my eBay store, right? Like, if I had something that said, you know what, you're getting 5 viewers a week that are then going to your store and buying something, I'd be like, heck yeah, I'm going to post something every day. But you don't know. You don't know if someone is going to your store because they saw your YouTube content or not.
Yeah, and you're right, unless they say something. So I have had that. I've had viewers that, on both sides of it, I have viewers who bought something from eBay and they said, hey, I love your channel. Or they send me a message, hey, love your channel, I'm picking up these 2 John Elway cards, thanks, kind of thing.
Yep.
And then I've had it the other way, where it's somebody who contacts me and they say, hey, I watch your channel, I'm looking to sell some cards, are you buying? Here's what I got. So, which still benefits your eBay business, right? Because you're getting, you're buying product. So, yeah, I think the place you're at right now, because you have you're somewhat established, right? You've got a fair number of videos, you've got some regular viewers. I think what you have to decide now is, what videos do I want to make? Do I enjoy making? And kind of focus on that for a period of time, because that should still get to some growth. Then if you start monetizing, then you can start going, you might also want to reevaluate and go, well, what videos can I make that'll make me money on view?
Right.
If you decide it's a intricate part of your business. So,
Right.
because I know content creators who sell cards, but their business is content creation. They just sell cards.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Versus we're kind of the opposite. We're selling cards for our business, and then we make content about that, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to get it twisted. You got to decide which one you're on. Obviously, cards for you over YouTube, since you don't even make income on YouTube yet. But and if you're YouTube, if you find some niche and it totally explodes and that's your big money maker, you might go, well, I'm a content creator now who happens to sell a few cards. That might flip for you too. I kind of always knew with what I was doing with YouTube and what I wanted to make with YouTube, who I am, my limited skills in editing and things like that, and equipment and whatnot. I just knew that it was just going to be something to support my business. It wasn't going to be the business.
Right.
And I'm totally cool with that. And then I don't feel as pressured. Like, I don't have to make a video. It doesn't have to get this many views. It doesn't, and like you said, I have what you call those evergreen or those trailing videos where I've done, instructional videos, you know, how to pack cards and ship them and how to list and do things like that, which continually get views. So I have some solid base videos that even if I don't post anything, I still get views and some income very regularly.
Yeah, and that
So,
I do enjoy doing that kind of stuff too, because it's not, at least for me, it's not all about trying to get monetized on YouTube. Yes, that
right.
would be nice someday to earn a little money while I'm doing it. But really how I started out was I want to contribute to our card community. So I do like doing some of those how-tos, or this is how I do things versus
Mhm.
this is I would really never tell anybody this is how you should be doing it, because
Right.
as we've talked about a lot, there are many different ways to succeed in this business.
Yeah. Well, and that is the whole reason I started my channel, was because there really wasn't anybody else doing the low end stuff. Now it's like the hot thing, right? Everybody talks about low end. Um, Even Trike. Do you know who Trike is? He does a lot of
Yeah.
soccer cards and stuff. He was a professional basketball player in like Portugal or something. He's from the U.S. but plays in some European pro league. But anyway, that's what he started with, was like all the slabbed fancy cards, right? And he would go to these shows in Europe and stuff. And now I think he's out of basketball because he talks about himself as a professional. Like he's just a card seller. He doesn't even say professional basketball player. But now he's doing all the low end and the value box stuff. And it's like, okay. So it's kind of interesting to see, some people have even switched to that route. But that's what I did. It was just to kind of share, hey, this is a different way to do it. This is how I'm doing it, and if that might
Yeah.
not work for you, and it's not as sexy and fun and glitzy, but I'm okay with that. I like the consistency and I'm progressive as a person, but I have some things that I'm definitely conservative about, and I want
Yeah.
to make sure that they're going. I have a family, I have a kid, I got a house, I got um, people that depend on me, a dog, a mortgage, right? All those fun things. So I can't just willy nilly fly around the country trying to sell Zion Prism, PSA 10s. So
Right.
yeah,
Well,
but I think
those
those
are
are great.
some of my
I think
goals
those are,
for the year.
yeah, I think those are great goals. I think those are all things, we can all help you with too. Try to stay on track with it and be encouraging. And um, we're going to get to the chats here. We're an hour and 17 in, which is about right. I really want to make sure we got to the topics this time. And but we want everybody here to be a part of it, of course. So we're gonna get to that.
Yep.
But all of you as well. We want to know what were your goals. What are you struggling with? There's been a lot of people posting on the Discord that, well, here was my 2024. Here's what I'd like to do better. Here's what did well, or here's my numbers, or I hit this listing count, today. That was my goal at the end of the year. So make sure you guys are sharing, all your stuff too, so that we can all share in this together. And the journey is while we are Charlie's right, while we are to some degree all competing with each other, I think if we have our own solid community, because not every seller is going to be in our community, if we have our own solid community and we can help all of each other, the people who want to be part of this community out, I think that helps all of us overall, with any other competition that's out there. That puts us a leg up. So I've learned a lot from you guys, just tips on where to get different supplies and, who to block on eBay because they're running around buying all these cards and not paying for them, things like that. That stuff's invaluable. That's going to help all of us.
Yeah.
So, those that aren't part of the community, disadvantage to them, right? We can use this as a good part of something to move our businesses forward and get an edge on that competition.
Yeah. All right. 2 final points on that, and then we'll get into that chat. One, just a reminder to everybody. There's a saying that I think holds weight, and that is, if you don't write it down, it's not a goal. You will forget about it in 30 days or even sooner. What is it? Next weekend is officially called Quitters Day, right? That's when people drop all their New Year's resolutions. So write down those goals. That's my advice to everybody. Even if they change throughout the year, that's okay. But if you don't write them down, you will forget about them, lose sight. And number two, speaking of the Discord, Adam, that might be a good channel in there in the Discord, is to talk about goals and give people an avenue to maybe document some of those goals, and we can hold each other accountable on that and say, how are you doing on that occasionally?
Yeah, I think that's a great one. Yeah, I think people naturally post some of those in like the eBay listing count channel. You know, you'll go post on there, you know, hey, I'm here at 8,500. My goal is 10 by the end of, but you're right. I think that might be a good spot to, that could be some encouragement or just some accountability, right? You're right. You write it down. Writing it down doesn't mean you have to use a pen, but you write it in the Discord like, hey, I'm going to be at 5,000 sales this month, you know, and put it in that channel. You know, you should really go back
to it in 6 months.
You should go back there and be like, yeah, I did it, or no, I didn't, you know, or hey, any ideas? I'm not getting there, you know, kind of thing. So, yeah, great point. And that's not a problem. I can easily create more channels. So, remind me after the show, because well, here, I'll write it down.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. Goals channel.
We got a lot of chat to catch up on, though. It's been pretty active while we've been talking.
We do, yes. Hopefully, a lot of this is just high type stuff for the first page or so, and we can get through it. Dan is here. Happy Goat Year. Happy Goat Year to you, Dan.
Happy Goat Year.
Happy Goat Year. Art is here.
It's silent goat.
The silent goat. Art is here. Daniel is here. Welcome. Joe is here. Welcome. Borshelli, welcome. I talked to you earlier today, so that was nice getting to know you a little bit. Daniel, at some point tonight, can you guys talk about reaching qualifying for Top Rated Seller Plus and if it's worth it?
I think it's that point.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of the perfect time for this. Yes, it's totally worth it, in my opinion, if you can handle what the requirements are. So you have to allow returns on your items, which I don't care. I barely ever get returns anyway. In fact, I have automatic returns on because I don't even want to deal with them. Somebody wants to return it, automatic, sends them a label. If it comes in the mail, I refund them or send them something else, whatever it is. So yeah, that one's kind of a no-brainer, but the bigger one is the one-day business shipping you have to agree to. So if somebody buys something on a Monday, you got to ship it on Tuesday. So if you're getting a lot of orders and it's not your full-time gig or you're limited on time, that one might press you a little bit. But it's good for a couple of reasons. You have to remember that eBay algorithm likes all those. If you're playing by eBay's rules, that gets you all those bonus points. So you get that out of it, and then also you get the little label next to the listings that you're a top-rated seller. That's just a great way to build your brand, build trust. Remember, people who don't know who you are, you're just some dude on the internet selling on eBay. So anything you can do to help, build that face, that reputation. I strongly suggest everybody has a business logo. Some people look at me weird when they're like, I only sell a few things on eBay. Pay somebody $50 to design you a logo that you like and make that your brand. Because I don't know why it's so underestimated that the value of a logo, but it's ginormous. There's huge value in that. So come up with something fairly simple, fairly obvious where somebody looks at it and goes, boom, that's the dollar box. Do that, and then when somebody looks at your listing and it says top rated, it'll have your logo there too. So lots of value in that. Yes, I truly believe in it. I've been Top Rated Seller Plus for a few years. And to me, it's yeah, why wouldn't you?
All right, now we have the dissenting opinion just to have balanced coverage. It is a terrible idea if you don't like money.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
If you don't want to get those fees reimbursed, what is it, 10%, 12%, whatever it is? If you don't want that, then then don't do it, I guess. But
so the real number on that is really like 1% because you get 10% of your 12.5% that they charged you. So if they charged you 20 cents final value fee, you get 2 cents of that back.
Right.
Just to clarify that. It's not like it totally wipes out your final value fee. If it did that, that would really be a no-brainer.
Yeah,
but
then it would be amazing.
yeah, we're not quite that lucky. eBay still wants something out of the deal. Lofi Joe says, what did you get with your second coupon? I've not used my coupons yet because today was not a working day for me. It was a sleep get over Manhattan's day for me. So tomorrow I will be ordering my 2 coupons, and I'll just do bubble mailers with both, to be honest with you. It is my current plan anyway. When I go in there and look at that second coupon, since it's less money, maybe I would look at like thank you stickers, or I don't know, something else that's less expensive. So I'm not paying anything out of pocket to get the supply, but I don't know. We'll see. But my plan at this point in time is to get bubble mailers. Because you can't really get a good deal on bubble mailers. There's no like giant multiple order discount bubble mailer place. They cost a lot to manufacture, so they're just expensive. Brandon says, "Hey fellas, Happy New Year! Happy New Year as well." Art says, "I was honestly surprised how active the store was last night. I was expecting a dip with New Year's Eve, but I guess some fellow card dweebs were staying inside and shopping." Yeah, I had a great night last night. It was funny because, like I said, I had actual plans, so I was out. Didn't look at my phone a lot, and a couple times through the night when I did, I was like, "Dang, things are booming," and then continued right into today. So that was a good sign.
Yeah, my New Year's Eve was decent today. Kind of slowed up a little bit, but I got to say the last 2 weeks have been really good.
Yeah, I think we're getting our January bumps. They're happening. So if you have stuff you want to list and don't have it out there, that's probably a good time to do it. If sales are happening. He's one of my favorites. He's referring to your wrestler buddy from earlier. Tukeshna is how Dan Collis says it anyway. Tukeshna. Turn and burn, baby. Antonio Waves. Hi, Antonio. You can keep promotion as dynamic and set a fixed top limit. Yes, you can. It kind of doesn't matter because if you're going to set a percentage, that's like your top limit anyway. But you're right. Happy New Year, says Keith. Happy New Year. Broke my single day list
on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, he's been making great videos. Go check him out. Broke my single day listing record today. So great start to the year. That's awesome. You can't sell if you don't list.
That's right.
Red Lights here. Hello all. Hello to you as well. And everyone hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate that. I always forget to talk about that stuff, but yes, please like the video if you're enjoying it. Share it with somebody else that you think might want to watch it. Subscribe to the channel. It's the Dollar Box here. Charlie is JC3 Cards and Collectibles. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. And yeah, check out the Discord and the Patreon if you're so interested. Boomslang, yo, what's up, guys? We got to do it.
What's up?
It's our first one of the year. Our first What's Up of the year. True. By the way, that's a pretty sweet banner you got hanging in the back there.
I know. Thank you to the Dollar Box for getting me that Brew Crew banner. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you must be a true friend if I buy Brewer stuff. I have to spend like cold hard American dollars on that. It was crazy. Red Light says, "Hey to Boomslang, do you have an email I can contact you with some communication or some questions on your store?" I do. You can contact me on eBay or on YouTube as well, but my email is ptbenz@gmail.com. So ptbenz@gmail.com. That's one thing I maybe didn't make a great decision on when I first started this. I should have probably made an email box that was the Dollar Box at Gmail, but hindsight. Who you asking? Yo at red light. Well, we have red lights now too. He was asking for mine. Found treasures. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Where will this be at? What state? So he's referring to the show. It is in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is where the Packers play, of course. So if you're from out of town, let us know if you're coming and you want some help getting around town. There's some cool stuff to see and do around here. Go out and have a lunch. It would be awesome. So anybody from out of town, we're all welcome. We can help you get accommodations, anything you would need for that. So
it is at what we fondly call the historic Riverside Ballroom. Looks like we got to hide that comment for a minute.
Yep, hold on. There you go.
Main Street in Green Bay, 1560 Main Street, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Really good turnout, previously. So I'm excited about this next one coming up. See how we do. January, holidays are over. People can go back to spending money on themselves.
Yep. Bring your kids. It's hard to find stuff in January to do with your kids. Bring your kids. They're going to get a free pack of cards to rip, so they won't necessarily bug you to buy them stuff. They can check out a show, and it's free admission. There's food, really good food at a really good price. We were shocked by it. We were shocked with the food last time because you never know when you do something the first time. Well, plenty of garbage cans this time. There's lots of space. It's a really cool historic building with a big stage and
8-foot tables. I know that's a big
full
thing.
Full 8-foot tables. Yep. Lots of different vendors. We'll have wax there. We'll have some memorabilia stuff. There'll be Pokemon and gaming cards. There'll be sports cards. There'll be some non-sport stuff. High end, value boxes. Like there's gonna be some of everything. So whatever you're into, come check it out. Like I said, bring your kids. We really want to focus on being family friendly. Bring your wives. There's some fun music there. There's places to sit for the kids to eat. Or if your wife's into cards, that's fine too. Of course, bring her for that reason. Then
my whole family goes, and we all at different times will be behind the table. So come on out and see us.
Yep. Yeah, and check out our demonstration. I think it's unique. No one else has really done this before. We have some really cool promos that Car Dealer Pro sent us. We want to give those away. We have the entrance for the autographed helmet, which is free. Just got to bring a canned good, or I should say, technically it's a non-perishable good. To get a ticket and entered into that drawing for Sterling Sharp, Packer Hall of Fame wide receiver. And it's gonna be good. He says we had a show near him today, but he was sick, so he didn't go. Oh, that sucks. I was sure he was sick on like a holiday, so probably didn't have work or anything anyway. I was sick last week. Yeah, there's a lot going around, that's for sure. We had it here too. We actually had a Christmas celebration with some of my wife's family today because we never could get it done because everybody had somebody sick.
Yeah,
they've got 4 kids. She's got 4 kids, so that's like, man, as soon as one gets it, it just keeps going. So, let's see. My first full year doing it at 50% made $6,500. I feel a lot of my lost sales were pricing. What's the best way to fix that? And I plan on spending more time on the store. You have to. I try not to equate my time to the money because when you are running your own thing, it's going to take you more time than what you're going to be paid per hour when you're starting out. Like that's just how it is. You're going to have a lot of just time invested that you're not going to get money back for it. But anyway, pricing, the best solution for that is go look at other sales. Look at what somebody else is selling it for. Do those comps and reprice some stuff if you have to. One of the things I love to do, just because it's easy and I have so many listings, is I just run a sale. So I'm like, okay, well, I've got some stuff that's been sitting around for a while. You can do some end listings, sell similar to get some new eyes on it. There's some other things you can do to try to get sales on that stuff. Or you can just do a flat across the board 10% sale on all your inventory. that kind of reprices everything a little bit, down to where it should be, and you should get some bites out of that. So that's an option too. And everybody loves a sale. Who doesn't like to see one price and then you pay less for it? So it's a great way just psychologically to get some of that business. And when you run a sale, anybody who's watching items and things like that, they'll be notified of it. So it gets you some extra boost that way, just to get new, people who are interested kind of already, to now tell them that, hey, now there's a sale on this thing. Do you want it? You better buy it. So,
Yep.
Johnny's here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Red Light says hi. I tried putting in a SKU and it gets rejected. I've heard this from other people, and I'm not sure why that is. Adding in a SKU after, I've never had a problem with that. So I don't know if it's because do you have a store? Because if you don't have a store, I'm thinking that's why you can't. You have to have a store subscription, I believe, to add SKUs, but I don't know. That might be something you'd have to ask eBay about, because I've never had it happen. Do you know about that, Charlie? You're kind of a
No,
tech
I
guy,
haven't
so.
heard of that. So I guess I have a couple clarifying questions. Are we saying when you try to put in a SKU directly in eBay, it's getting rejected? Or I don't think you're using a listing tool, but if you're using a listing tool and it's getting rejected, that would be a different item when you're trying to upload it. So I'd like to understand that better, but also make sure you're using the right field. There is a custom SKU field just below the title field. Don't confuse that with the UPC field, which is
Oh,
further
that's
down.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
UPC has to be a code, right? That has to be like a registered barcode or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never had that happen. So Tank here is giving you a tip too. It shouldn't be getting rejected since it's something you create on your own to use mobile or PC. Show PC, but to be honest, I thought it would go in the UPC area. No, that's what Charlie just said. No, you can't put it in UPC. It has to be in SKU. But I had this question come up from a viewer, I don't know, it was maybe a month ago or so, that said can't do a SKU, and I think that's what we figured out was he didn't have a store. He was just doing like small amount of listing, and you can't have a SKU. Because he went. Yeah, he went to go edit the listing, and he's like, I don't even have a SKU field on my, on my item details. And I'm like, or maybe it was an auction or something. I don't remember, but he's right, because I saw the screenshot and there was no SKU field for him to put anything in. So worst case scenario, you can put something in at the end of your listing, your title, just so you know. You could put
I see
the
that.
title. I see other sellers do that. You can put the title in and then just put like, box 1 or something. I don't know. So you can kind of get around it that way. Show today is day 1 for me on eBay. Johnny says he's 700 listings away from maxing out his store at 11K. That's as high as I want to go. Going to drop lower end and replace it with higher price stuff. That's a great strategy. Absolutely. Question. I have a basic store about to hit 1K tomorrow. Does that mean I get charged on an insertion fee, anything over, even though it's a new month? That always confuses me. Yeah, each item that, let's say it goes 30 days and it doesn't sell and it relists for another 30 days, that counts as a listing in that month. And it does go the first to the end of the month. So, today is the first of a month, so you start fresh and you have 0 listings against you. But everything that gets relisted or everything you newly list, it's going to count as a listing.
Yeah, that was the tricky part when I started calculating.
Yeah, a lot of people get busted by that one. Now, you're at 1,000 listings, but if you're listing in the trading cards area, you get another 10,000 listings above that. So you'll actually have 11,000 listings available to you. So you should have plenty of room yet, no matter what you're doing. Yeah, Boomslang says he doesn't have a store yet, and I bet that's the problem. You can't do a SKU without a store. That, from my understanding, that's what we kind of figured out when I was talking to the other viewer about it. I'll be 40 years young in about an hour and a half. I'm officially on the back 9. Oh boy, I remember my 40th. Now that seems like a while ago.
Wish I was
Um,
40 again.
yeah, same. Uh, well, congratulations, happy birthday. So it's an accomplishment. Not everybody even makes it to 40. So, hey, kudos to you that way. But yeah, it does kind of, things start to slow down a little bit, I think. As time goes on, you're just not doing as much as you were before. And that's
40 was
okay.
when my athletic career really started to fall off.
Same.
Everything I
Yeah.
did was a pulled hamstring or something and
Yeah.
twisted ankles and ugh.
Yeah, I had a pretty good injury and I had to stop lifting weights and like I couldn't really do the running anymore because my knees would just bother me all day. And yeah, and then you don't do as much exercise. So if you don't change your diet, then you put weight on and like the whole thing just, yeah, it's good times, things to look forward to, I suppose. But happy birthday just the same. Off of work this week and heading to a card show in Raleigh Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. That sounds fun. Good luck. Hopefully you find some good stuff. Hell yeah, I switched over everything from everything seller to cards this past November. I've been listing 100 a day, so that's good to know. You are welcome. Keep it going. Thanks for answering. My pleasure. I can't even remember 40. LOL. Happy birthday. Yeah, that's the other thing that starts getting to be harder is remembering things for sure. So, all right. We're caught up. Like there was a bunch of chat there, but I got through it pretty good.
Yeah, you were blasting through there.
I got the skills to pay those bills. So I will add a goals channel. Was there another topic we wanted to talk about?
I was just checking that to see what you sent me and see if we did miss something. Oh, I defaulted to the Goat Show chat.
Oh,
Let's see. Year in review, 2025 goals, and the Goat Show. We did hit all three of those that you sent me.
perfect. Then we're good. I put it in a wrong chat. That's funny.
No, you put it in the one just to me. Just when I
Oh,
open
okay.
my chat,
Okay.
there's usually Goat Show chats from our business managers.
Okay.
So it defaults to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, those two it's intense sometimes. It's good though. We need that. Like we need managers, Charlie.
Yeah, especially us, because
Mhm.
our attention is
Yeah.
not always on the things they're taking care of. We're listing and shipping.
Right, correct. Listing, shipping, taxes. I paid my property taxes yesterday. All good
Uh,
stuff. Fun times. Gotta do that and squeeze some adulting in there somewhere. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to building with you guys some more. The Dollar Box community, especially on Discord, that seems to be such a great place for everybody to be. So again, if you're not on there, join that. Invite link is down below in the banner. Or if you go to Discord, just search out the Dollar Box and you'll find our server on there.
by the way, I should clarify: our business managers are our wives. We're not so
Right.
big time that we have real business
No.
managers.
I wish. There are times where I'm like, I don't want to write down my expenses. There's like so much stuff I don't want to do,
Yeah.
but there just isn't enough there to pay somebody to do it yet. Hopefully I can get to that point, but it's just, yeah, there's a lot on you when you're doing stuff like this. That's all by yourself. So, but there's a lot of benefit. Like I said, all day yesterday I was running around with Luna. We were having fun. We went to lunch together, and we always we have an active household, so there's always stuff that's needed to be done or needed to be picked up. I can run and do some of that during the day. I like to work from 4 a.m. to like 7:30 a.m. and then take a little break. Have breakfast with my family and get the kid on the bus and do all that. And that's I got my half a day in by the time there's breakfast, and then I can kind of fit some other things in the day, which is a huge advantage. If you've got something really important to do in the afternoon, you do that, and then you work a little bit at night. I know Charlie, you're a later guy. You'll probably do some listing after we're done here tonight. I'm going to bed. I'm done. I go to bed. So there's a lot of luxury that way. It's just you just have to do it all. That's the sometimes the hard part. Um, and also no real days off. Like I worked yesterday. I did some work today. It's just how it is. eBay doesn't like it if you don't touch it, so I had to make sure I at least did some listings on each store. Had a couple customers contact me. Had some invoices to send. There's always offers to put out. So yeah, if you're new to this or you're thinking about doing this or you're thinking about growing this, just so you know, it just gets bigger and bigger, and it's awesome, but it also takes a lot of work. So now this morning I signed Luna up for soccer, and I also signed up as a coach. So I will be a soccer coach this summer.
Look
Be
at that.
coaching the U12 girls team. I'm not going to say where, but really looking forward to that. I haven't coached in many years. I just haven't had the time to do it. Luna was really excited to have me coach. I have a co-coach that I really, really enjoy. That's a good coach. So it'll be a fun team that way. And really excited to see what girls we have on our team and get them ready for the season and keep them competitive. Winning is not everything with the league that we're in. But I want them to be competitive and work at it. I'd be very happy with that. And if everybody's having fun, that's a win right there. So yeah, so I'm getting back into the coaching too. Not high school football, but still, it's that's
another commitment.
Work in demand. There's practices, there's games, there's tournaments, there's all that good stuff. So looking forward to it a lot. And then yeah, it's going to be another piece in. It's going to be hard to throw the YouTube in with that too, right? So I'm going to hit that same boat a little bit. And then that's summer, so the kid's not in school, so we have a few other things that we have to do. Generally in the summer when she's home, there's summer school or going to a friend's house, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, be a little bit extra wrench this summer. I'm going to try to keep everybody up to date. I'm going to still make sales day videos and pull cards. Production's probably not going to be any bigger than it is now. I just don't have the means, desire, will to add high production value to stuff. So I apologize for that, but that's you're just going to get good raw stuff on my channel. I'm going to continue to do that, and then I want my other big goal for this year with that is just to make sure I keep putting out more of the journey of what it means to have a second store and what that looks like and how it's going. So let's see. Keith says, all that downhill weightlifting talk, and I got an adjustable dumbbell set for Christmas. So start low. Just whatever you normally lift, probably drop it down some, and then I think you'll be okay.
Maybe it'll be the trend breaker, Keith.
You're right. Yeah, you're gonna show Father Time who's boss. Definitely slowed down after I hit 40 a few years back. More pain the next day after doing outside work.
Yeah.
I used to like right before I turned 40, I would run like 6-7 miles in the morning before I'd go to work, and a lot of times I rode my bike to work. Which Charlie knows that hill up by that McDonald's in Alloway.
Yeah.
That was like the last stretch of road I would have to take before I would get to the bank, and I was burning. I was burning by the end of that. That's a pretty good size hill. I used to do that, and then I would work all day, and then I would go home at night and help my wife in the garden or go play soccer or, kickball or something like that. And it's like, I think about that now and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to get out of bed today. It's yeah, things change for sure. Do you have thoughts on multi-listings with photos on eBay versus Car Dealer Pro? The eBay listing thing is fine, I guess. I don't know. I really like Car Dealer Pro. It works better for me. And I have such a weird variety of stuff that I list. I'm not listing like all from one set at a time and things like that. And Car Dealer Pro just does a good job with it. And I do a lot of non-sport, so I need Car Dealer Pro for that. So that'd be my opinion on that. Now, the eBay feature right now is free, so that's a big advantage. But I don't know, the Car Dealer Pro monthly is such a small expense compared to the value I feel like I get out of it for the number of listings and the sales that it equates to. That yeah, I mean, I'm wearing the hat, dude, so obviously I'm in. But I understand why people aren't, and there are things that I don't like about Car Dealer Pro too. So it's not, I'm not here to pump and say, yeah, this, you got to have this thing. But by the way, if you join Car Dealer Pro and you put in $box for the code, you get 500 free scans your first month when you try it out. So if you're thinking about it, use my code, so at least you get some free scans to try. But no, I've been pretty pleased with the product and the program, and I've been doing it long enough now that it's so quick. I just do my scans and I put my SKUs in, and I know all the fields. You know, I have my template exactly the way I want it. I've got my banner for the bottom of my images, and I just love it. So to me, those are all advantages over the eBay one. I like having my logo in the photos, and that's harder to do if you're not using a program like Car Dealer Pro. eBay is not going to do that, so they're just going to put the card image in there. I don't think you use that, do you, Charlie? You don't have the
logo?
Yeah, you don't do like a banner logo at the bottom of the card, do you?
Yeah, I've tried it a few times. I personally felt like it made the card image too small for my liking, because obviously you only have so much in that square. If you're going to put a banner in, it's taking a portion of that up. So I stopped using it. I think about it from time to time if I want to try it again, but currently I'm not.
I just like the identifying the brand. I feel like somebody would see it and they go, "Oh, the $box, I bought from him before. This is probably a good card." They'll click on it. You can click on that image and it gets nice and big. You know, the card, if you do want to look at it. So,
but the search results tell you who listed the card too.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Branding it's maybe just my experience from, economics classes or whatever, but there's hardly any replacing of that. As soon as you see that swoosh, you know exactly what it is. It doesn't even have to have a word next to it.
Yeah.
And there's just that's an impossible value to replace. So I like having my little banner there. It kind of defines who I am. It has my logo. It's got the little money stuff on it. And, if you're buying one card and then you go, "Oh, that card is his too. Maybe I can get a deal buying both." It just stands it out a little bit over some of the other images. Yeah. And you're right, it does take up some of the space, but yeah. So pros and cons, right?
Yeah. And Tank, I guess my thoughts on multi-listing photos on eBay versus Car Dealer Pro. I've taken a run at that multi-listings with photos 3-4 times now and put in a large amount of effort trying to use it to compare. And my conclusion on it is you can't even compare the two. They should not be in the same bucket. Yeah. If you are going to pay for something, if you're willing to pay for something, Car Dealer Pro is so far superior to the tools eBay is giving you. Now, if your business model is at a spot where you don't want to subscribe to any other tools, multi-listings with photos was an improvement. I can't deny that. Yep. But every time I use it, I have to retouch so many more listings that I said, this doesn't work for me. I'm wasting too much time.
Yeah, and it's in its infancy, so maybe they'll get some improvement. It'll be competitive with a Car Dealer Pro type program. Who knows? Car Dealer Pro's come a long way. I didn't like the version 1.0 when I first looked at it. I was like, this is not good at all for the cost. And then 2.0 came out, and they added wrestling, and then they added, once they added non-sport, I was like, nope, Car Dealer Pro, that's the one, because I do enough of that I was listing all those individually. It was worth it for me to have a place to scan and list through AI. So I agree with Charlie. I've tried the multi-picture thing a few times, and it was okay. I actually beta tested it. It was fine, but yeah, I don't think it's not for me for the amount of stuff I have to do. Let's see. Car Dealer Pro is so much faster for sure. I just wish there was a few more customizations in it available before I upload. Yep.
Agreed.
Yep. And I think that's something they're going to work on this year. Like quantity. Quantity is the big one for me. I
Yep.
always go
Put a field
into,
in the template. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it should be something that complicated. Um, from what I understand, I didn't talk to Car Dealer Pro about it, but somebody I know did that spoke to them in depth about quantity, and they said they can't do it. There's something with how it talks to eBay that just doesn't work. So I wouldn't expect that to be coming anytime soon, if at all. But the way I've done it is if I have multiple copies, I just simply go in the listing after it uploads and I just type over the quantity. It takes me a few seconds more per upload batch, but it is what it is. If you're not worried about maxing out your listings, just list multiple copies. That doesn't hurt either. If you sell one, it opens the listing back up anyway. So you could do that too. Yeah, I'm noticing that for sure. CDP is the way to go. It takes me about 20 to 30 minutes longer when listing 100 cards. And that's 20 to 30 minutes is a lot of time for 100 cards. I mean, I started my non-sport store yesterday. No, 2 days ago. I didn't work today at all. And I have like 800 listings already. So, you need to have something that's going to accelerate those numbers, or it's going to take you forever to list. Forgot about doing a sale on items. Would let the viewers know. Just took your advice and in 5 minutes made a sale. Thanks for the reminder. You can send all commission checks to me. You can pay me in Wildcard because that's fine too. Yeah, that's you. That's something you really have to think about. If you're going to build this into a business, you really have to think about building regular customers. And it was funny, again, that video that I watched from Chasing Cardboard, that was something he pointed out was a lot of these vendors are like, well, yeah, I get the customers on eBay, but then they contact me after we do some business, they contact me outside of eBay and we do a lot of sales that way. And I'm not suggesting that necessarily, but just building some of that customer base, you take eBay out of the mix. Now it's the customer and you. And eBay is just a platform to, to complete the transaction. But anytime you can contact those customers and stay in their face, that's going to be a good thing. And it just adds legitimacy to who you are too, especially when you're doing a sale, right? So let's say I go to your, I'm a new customer and I go to your shop and I buy a couple things. I take a chance on you. I don't know who you are. I pay full price for these items you sending me. Now next week you start a sale and you don't tell me about it. Like, I'd be kind of mad. I'd be like, dude, I just bought stuff at full price for me. You should tell me when you got a deal because there's probably more stuff that I want, or I'd be interested in it. So, so again, it's good. It just gives that it shows to that customer that, hey, I can take some sales on some stuff. We can get you some more stuff and save you some money. Let's see. I run eBay duplicate listing once a week and update the listing from there. Yeah, that's exactly what you can do. Anytime you can copy something from something else and save yourself that amount of work, you want to do it. So
the only problem with that is there's a lot of junk listings out there too.
It doesn't matter. I copy from those all the time. Well, you know that.
Yeah.
I copy from those all the time, and they sell anyway, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I try to pick the best ones, but yeah, sometimes there's not great stuff.
Yeah, I usually spend the extra couple clicks taking some of that stuff out of there, and it's just annoying.
Yeah. Annoying to who? You or the customer?
To me.
Right. See, I don't care, and as long as the customer is fine, and buys it, and it depends on what it is. If it has, there's sometimes where like I'll do a copy or sell similar or whatever, and the entire listing is in caps, all caps. Yeah. I'm not gonna leave that. I'll go back and type over it. Or they listed in the wrong category. It's listed in like movie memorabilia instead of a non-sports single. So I'll change the category. So yeah, like stuff that matters, I fix that. I don't want to say like I just list whatever, but
Yeah.
if they have in there that it's a 3 3/4 inch card and it's made in America, and I just leave that crap in there. I don't care. No one cares about that stuff. So no one reads the descriptions either. FYI, that's still the
Yeah.
case. Even with the AI and all that, doesn't matter. It's still not something that people focus on.
I can vouch for that, because if they read the descriptions, they wouldn't be sending me messages saying, "What size is this?"
Right. Exactly. I meant if I have multiple copies of a card, I do a duplicate check on my listings and combine quantities instead of trying to see how many I have before going through CDP. Yeah, I do that too. Now that I have so many listings, I definitely get duplicates out there. And since I skew them, I'll pull cards out of other bags and combine them into one. I've done that before. It opens up some listings and it just condenses your business down into making more sense rather than having a bunch of the same thing listed.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think I did pretty good tonight. I wasn't as tired because I stayed up till 2 this morning and then I slept until 8. So, like, you guys got the best of me tonight. This is probably. I was thinking about that this morning when I was talking to my wife. I said, "Oh man, now my schedule's all off. I slept in and I was like, yeah, but I got to stay up late again tonight. So it's probably the best time for it to happen. But I'm going to get to bed much earlier tonight. I'll be going right after this, so I should be able to get back on my 4 a.m. Schedule and getting up and
We hope
getting
so.
going. Yeah. Let's see. I think we're caught up, right? Yep, we're all caught up. All right. Anything else from you, Charlie?
Just, I hope everybody has a very successful 2025. I appreciate everybody's support through 2024. And great success to all of us. Peace out. Take care of each other.
And make sure you check out the Goat Show. If you're going to be in the Green Bay area, we'd love to have you. Again, it's the Goat Card Show at Gmail, right? Did I do that right this time?
Yes, you did it right.
Eventually, it'll get right in here. Make sure you like this video, share it to others if you think they would enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Charlie's channel, JC3 Cards and Collectibles. You can see it on his little banner thing right there.
Yeah.
Join the Discord. We got the link on the banner here. And we'll see you all soon. And remember, you can't sell what you don't list. We'll see you all next week.